Good day everyone. So again, this is HM109, Ergonomics and Facilities Planning for Hospitality Industry. And again, this is Ma'am Ara Viniz Ocampo. So in this lesson or in this module, we are going to talk about the introduction to ergonomics as discussed on your subject orientation last week. Okay, so I hope you all downloaded the file and we are ready to learn. So first is, we need to make an introduction about what ergonomics is. Ano nga ba si ergonomics? So according to the definition here, ergonomics is the study of interaction. Okay, so as you can see, it is the study of interaction between people and the machines and the factors that affect the interaction. So when we say ergonomics, these are the what we called human factors. Okay? So ibig sabihin, si ergonomics, ang focus niya is nasa human. So sino yung human na yon? So tayo po yon. So when we work someday or kapag nagtrabaho kayo in the near future, you are going to appreciate more about ergonomics. Okay? So when we say ergonomics also, it is about fitting the workplace to the human need. Of course, di ba, meron tayong mga sari-sariling pangarap kung saan natin gustong magtrabaho someday. Di ba? Halimbawa, for example, gusto natin magtrabaho as a flight attendant. So ano ba ang workplace ng isang flight attendant? Of course, sa airline. Of course, magtatrabaho sila sa eroplano. When we say, for example, you want to be a chef someday, ano ba yung inyong future workplace na pagtatrabahuhan? Of course, the kitchen, the restaurant itself, or maybe magtayo kayo ng sarili nyong restaurant in the future. Another thing about ergonomics is about designing in a better interface or by designing out factors in the work environment. Ano ba pag sinabi nating interface? Usually, pag sinabi nating interface, these are the two systems or subjects that meet and interact with one another. So, in this case, ano ba yung dalawang subject na yon? In this case, those are the people and the machines. Okay? Kasi syempre, di ba, pag nagtrabaho tayo someday, hindi naman puro manpower lang yung gagamitin natin. Usually, we need machines para mas mag-operate ng maayos yung ating workplace. So sabi dito, systems can be improved by, number 1, designing the user interface to make it more compatible. Ano ba pag sinabi nating compatible or compatibility? Ibig sabihin, magkatugon siya. Okay? So when we say user interface, these are the point of human and computer interaction. At the same time, there is a communication. For example, di ba, sa mga kids nowadays, marunong na silang gumamit ng computer. Kung napapansin niyo, pag gumamit kayo ng computer, gumamit kayo ng laptop, gumamit kayo ng any gadgets, usually ang user interface niya is madali lang. Because yung mga messages or let's say yung mga dialogues na dinideliver ng interface mismo is simple lang. Hindi sila gumagamit ng mga masyadong malalim na salita. It's because hindi yun maiintindihan ng mga tao. Diba, for example, gusto mong i-delete yung isang file. Ano ba sasabihin kapag dinilit mo? Diba, may lalabas na dialog box and then sasabihin niya, are you sure you want to delete this file? Dalawa lang yung option na pagpipilian mo. Is it a yes or a no? So, pag klinik mo yung file, klinik mo yung yes, automatic, diba? Sasabihin doon na yung file na dinilit mo is mapupunta siya sa recycle bin. So, ganun din when it comes sa mga machineries. So, sa mga machineries natin ngayon, dahil high-tech na tayo, gumagamit na tayo ng technology, so may mga user interface talaga na user-friendly rin siya. So, ano ba yung kainaman sa user interface para mas maging maayos siya sa ating workplace? Of course, syempre, dapat there is a clear typography. So, when we say typography, ito yung sinasabi natin na walang masyadong typographical error. Ibig sabihin, yung mga words nakasulat or nakalagay siya or naka-input ng maayos. So, next one is the changing work environment. To make it safer, ayan, and more appropriate for the task. Of course, sa isang workplace, we want na safe tayo, 'di ba? So as a owner, hindi dapat natin isipin na ay dapat yung mga machine ko safe, baka manakaw yung mga machine ko, baka manakaw yung mga let's say mga ipinundar ko doon sa restaurant. So dapat ang ating pananaw or ang ating mindset is nakatuon pa rin sa welfare ng ating mga machineries at the same time ng ating mga tao or ng ating mga employees. So we want to create a safe work environment for them. Kaya nga 'di ba, when we talk about the HM109, those are the protocols, regulation or mga batas kung saan ipinapatupad yung mga dapat ipatupad doon sa isang workplace. So let's say for example, para mas maging safe ang isang workplace, naglalagay tayo ng mga fire extinguisher. Kasi 'di ba hindi naman natin alam kung kailan magkakaroon ng accident. Naglalagay tayo ng mga first aid kit. Kasi hindi naman natin alam kung kailan may magiging accident, like for example, nasugatan, nagkaroon let's say ng injuries. So ibig sabihin dapat may nakaantabay tayong first aid kit. So ibig sabihin yung first aid kit dapat alam din siyang gamitin ng mga employees doon sa work. That's why may mga trainings na ini-implement yung government natin, like for example, the Red Cross of the Philippines. So meron silang mga basic first aid training kung saan yung mga employees or let's say yung mga owners, inuobliga nila na mag-conduct or sumali sa training yung kanilang mga employees. Number 3 is the changing the task to make it more compatible with the user characteristics. So nowadays, we want compatibility. Kasi kapag hindi compatible yung isang bagay, nalilito tayo, 'di ba? So let's say for example, 'di ba? For let's say sa isang computer, ikaw is let's say 50 years old. Ngayon ang computer mo is for example Apple or let's say the MacBook Pro. 'Di ba medyo ang Apple kasi medyo marami silang pasikot-sikot when it comes sa user interface ng kanilang mga gadgets. So, siguro itong age 50 years old na tao na to, medyo mahihirapan siya. Kasi medyo challenging ang interface ni Apple. So, gagawin niya, instead of that, magsuswitch siya into let's say, bibili na lang siya ng computer or gagamit na lang siya ng computer na ang pinaka-iOS niya or let's say, ang pinaka-operating system is the Microsoft. Kasi di ba si Microsoft, madali lang din yung kanyang interface. So, gusto natin maging compatible yung ating mga machineries sa mismong user. At pag sinabi nating user, tayo po yun. Tayo yung gagamit ng mga machineries na yon, ng computer na yon, or any gadgets within the workplace. That's why, di ba, pag bumili kayo ng isang appliances, bumili kayo ng gadget, di ba merong tinatawag na manual. So, yung manual na yon, it is printed. Okay? So, may hard copy kayo na matatanggap kasama dun sa pinaka-box, wherein meron dong mga step-by-step procedure kung paano ba gamitin yung gadget na yun. So, syempre, if you're not really familiar about the gadget or the machine, pwede mo munang basahin kung paano siya i-operate. And of course, syempre, sa tinagal-tagal, magagamay mo na rin kung paano gamitin yung machine na yun. And the last one is the changing the way work is organized to accommodate psychological and social needs. So, in the workplace, we need to be organized. Bakit? Because kapag hindi organized ang ating workplace, nagkakaroon ng tendency na malito. Malito yung mga tao because they don't know the job they're doing. They don't know the task they're performing. At the same time, nalilito sila, ano ba yung proper delegation ng task? Bakit parang gulo-gulo? Di ba na-hire siya as a chef? Bakit as from being a chef, naging barista na siya? Bakit from being a waiter, nagluluto na din siya sa kitchen? Baka naman kasi mamaya, the company or the, let's say, the restaurant is understaffed. Kulang sila sa tauhan. So, pagka ganon, it can cause a psychological stress sa mismong employee. Bakit? Kasi for example, di ba, ang inapplyan mo lang as a front office attendant, naging concierge ka na. Eventually, nagkaroon ng different allocation ng mga position sa company. Eh, hindi mo naman 40 yon. So, ibig sabihin, it might cause you a struggle. Diba? Malilito ka. Kasi hindi mo naman 40 yung isang bagay. That's why mas maganda kung organize yung mga tasks natin within the workplace para maiwasan natin yung psychological stress na tinatawag o yung mental stress. Ibig sabihin, merong specific task for a specific individual para maging mas productive siya at mas maganda yung performance niya sa kanyang trabaho. Okay? So, next one is so let's erase first yung ating mga annotation. So, next one is the information processing task. So, ano po ba pag sinabi nating information processing task? So, we might redesign the interface so as to reduce the loads on the user memory. So, it means here, shift more of the memory load of the task onto the computer system or redesign the information to make it more distinctive, okay? Make it more distinctive and easier to recall. So, lalo na ngayon, dahil online class tayo, di ba? You have teachers na medyo mas matanda. Or let's say you have, mga kapatid na bata. They're not really familiar yet with the interface. Okay? They're not really familiar yet about the so-called LMS or the Learning Management System. Katulad nyo, di ba? Nangangapa kayo sa paggamit ng Edmodo. Andyan yung magtatanong kayo, ma'am, paano po ba palitan yung picture? Ma'am, bakit po ganon? Hindi ko po malaman kung ano yung password ko. Hindi ko po malaman bakit po ayaw magbukas ng aking account. Ang daming mga iba't ibang reasons, ang daming iba't ibang problema. Kasi nga po, hindi pa natin siya ganong gamay. So in this case, the company should implement a simple user interface. Ibig sabihin, mas madaling maiintindihan ng mga tao. That's why, di ba, instead of using vSmart sa ating online class, we use Edmodo. Because Edmodo is more let's say, more friendly or user-friendly siya. Kasi mas katulad lang niya yung Facebook. The user interface of Facebook is almost similar to Edmodo. Kaya madali lang din siyang matandaan or gamitin ng mga students. So, let's say for example, here is the manual handling task. Paano naman yung sinasabi nating manual? Ayan. So, sabi dito, we might redesign the interface by adding handles or using lighter or smaller containers to reduce the load of the musculoskeletal system or musculoskeletal system. So, itong manual handling task, from the word itself, mano-mano. So, dito natin may encounter yung iba't ibang klaseng activities. So, ano ba yung mga iba't ibang klaseng activities or tasks na usually ginagawa natin? For example, you are a waiter sa isang restaurant. Diba usually nagbubuhat ka ng mga bar tray? Pagka bigat-bigat na bar tray, kasi doon nakalagay lahat ng mga plates, doon lahat nakalagay lahat ng mga cutleries, ng mga baso na pinag-inuman ni guest. At kailangan mo yun buhatin at dalhin papunta sa dishwashing area or sa kitchen. Sa part ng waiter, nilift niya na, di ba? Inangat niya yung bar tray, binuhat niya pa. So, in that case, napakaraming movement ng kanyang muscle. So, kapag itong manual handling task is hindi natin siya nagawa ng maayos, usually magiging hazardous or magkakaroon ng hazards yung ating trabaho. Doon nga po nagkakaroon, let's say, nagkakaroon ka ng muscle pain. Sobrang sakit ng muscle mo kasi, di ba, buong araw ka namang nagbuhat. Ang daming mga customers, ang daming mga guests na nag-dine in. Buong araw kang bus out ng mga gamit. Or let's say na mga food and beverage tools and equipments. So in that case, nagkakaroon ng repetitive movement, at the same time, nagkakaroon ng unbalanced psycho and physiological stress nga na tinatawag natin, which we will discuss later. Okay, so tandaan lamang po kapag information processing task, so dito is yung user's memory o yung mga details, okay? Details na tinatawag natin. Kapag naman po sa manual handling task, usually these are the tasks that we are using the musculoskeletal system or the musculoskeletal system, or let's say the muscles. Ayan, sorry, medyo nabubulol na si ma'am with regards to the words. So sabi dito, work environments can be improved by eliminating, so when we say eliminating, tatanggalin, eliminating vibration and noise, and providing better seating, desking, and ventilation or lighting. Kasi 'di ba sa ating work environment, for example, you're working as a factory worker, natural lang 'di ba na napakalakas ng noise o ng ingay sa factory kasi syempre malalaking machines, malalaking mga tools and equipments yung mga gamit ng mga tao o ng mga trabahador mismo doon. So ibig sabihin, para maiwasan natin yung tinatawag nga na psychophysical stress, we need to eliminate, or probably kung hindi man natin siya totally matanggal, at least we need to decrease yung noise, vibration, o yung kaguluhan within the workplace. So in that case kasi, we can provide a better seating. Paano better seating? For example, call center agent ka. Diba, maghapon ka lang naman nakaupo. Buong shift mo sa work, nakaupo ka. Let's say 8 hours yung iyong oras sa work. 8 hours ka nagtatrabaho. Sa buong 8 hours na yun, nakaupo ka. Lalo na ngayon yung mga teachers ninyo, di ba? We are conducting online class. So maghapon din kaming nakaupo. Maghapon din yung mga mata namin is nakatutok sa laptop, sa computer, at sa mga gadgets. Same with you. But in your case, you're only allowed to, let's say, access the Edmodo or mga iba't ibang mga assignments ninyo thrice a week. Kasi thrice a week yung inyong klase. Another thing is yung desking. For example, di ba, sa office desk, minsan ang sikip-sikip nung table. Yung mga gamit mo hindi na magkasya, sa dami mong paperworks, hindi na magkasya, nilalapag mo na sa sahig. So, hassle pa sa iyon kasi 'di ba? Yuyuko ka pa, bubuhatin mo pa. So, magkakaroon ulit ng musculoskeletal, let's say musculoskeletal na mga trabaho. Gagamitin mo yung iyong mga muscles. Paano 'yan? For example, kung matanda na yung 'di ba? Yung coworker ninyo. Medyo mas mahihirapan na siya sa mga ganong klaseng task. Ventilation. Baka naman mamaya sa workplace sobrang init, sobrang lamig. Okay? That's why pag sa office, 'di ba, commonly nakikita nyo, mga naka-jacket. May mga baong jacket, may mga naka-long sleeve. It's because para maka-cope up sila sa lamig nung temperature. Baka naman sobrang taas kasi nung aircon. Which is hindi rin naman yon healthy. Kasi baka mamaya, 'di ba, nakatapat sa yung aircon. Baka naman magka-pulmonya ka na. Baka naman ang ending magkasipon ka, magkaubo ka. So, ibig sabihin, dapat balance lang po lahat. And syempre, pag naman sobrang init sa factory, dapat merong mga proper ventilation na nakalagay. And of course, lighting. Baka naman mamaya sobrang dilim, sobrang liwanag. So, for example, ngayon, hindi rin maganda yung sobrang baba ng brightness mo. Kasi 'di ba sa mata, it might cause an eye problem. Hindi man ngayon, baka in the near future, maging sobrang labo na ng mga mata natin at tumaas yung grado. So, ayaw naman din natin yon. So, next one here is the psychophysical stress. So, sabi dito, new task. So, let's erase this para hindi kayong maguluhan. So, sabi dito is new task can be made easier to learn and to perform by designing them so that they resemble tasks or procedures that our people are already familiar with. So, gusto natin, pag nagtrabaho tayo someday, 'Diba? Yung madali natin maiintindihan yung trainings na kinokonduct. Ibig sabihin, baka naman nagtitraining pa lang tayo sa trabaho dahil sobrang hirap ng mga tinuturo ng inyong trainer, umayaw na kayo bigla. Gusto nyo pala maging barista sa Starbucks, pero parang ang hirap i-operate ng kanilang mga coffee machines or coffee makers doon. Umayaw na kayo agad. So, ibig sabihin nga dito, we want to design the machines, we want to design the interface that are familiar with the people or with the workers. Ibig sabihin, we want to make it easier to learn. Para nang sa ganon, magawa din nila ng mas maayos yung trabaho. So, work organizations can be improved by enabling workers to work at their own pace. Ayan. So, nowadays, self-paced po ang ating pag-aaral. Although, may mga interaction pa rin talaga tayong makukuha with our teachers. So, bakit daw kailangan i-improve yung ganong klaseng mga regulations? For us to reduce the psychophysical stress na tinatawag. Ano po ba yung sinasabi nating psychophysical stress? Usually, it is a disorder combining the psychological and physical health of a person. Ibig sabihin, when we say psychological, kasama dito yung mental health at yung physical health natin. And usually, sabi nga dito, it is being tied to the machine or by introducing subsidiary tasks to increase the range of physical activities at work and provide contact with others. Example ng psychophysical stress, for example, long work hours. Yan, for example, ngayon, office hours, or let's say office girl ka, sekretary ka kunyari, ang haba ng oras mo na nakaupo ka lang, so it can trigger your muscle, pwede kang magkaroon ng eventually back pain, sumakit yung likod mo, at dahil sumakit yung likod mo, nadamay na rin pati yung inyong isip. Sumakit na yung isip mo, sumakit na yung utak mo because masyadong mahabang oras ng pagtatrabaho. Baka mamaya, meron ka pang history ng hypertension or ng high blood pressure. So usually, pwedeng matrigger yon. Physically, you are tired and pwedeng niyang maapektuhan yung iba mo pang mga sakit kung may high blood ka. So, kapag nangyari or na-trigger yung psychophysical stress na tinatawag, it can cause death. Okay? Kaya nga 'di ba sa trabaho, ayaw natin masyado na magpaka-stress. Ayaw natin masyadong itodo yung ating trabaho, lalo na kung ang kapalit naman nun is tayo naman yung mai-stress, tayo yung magkakasakit. Kaya nga 'di ba sabi natin, ano yung kasabihan ng mga matatanda? Health is wealth. So, kung ikaw naman magkakasakit, baka naman ang mangyari, 'di ba? Mauwi ka sa death na tinatawag. So, ayaw naman po natin 'yon. Na mauwi tayo sa kamatayan dahil lang sa sobrang pagtatrabaho. That's why we are still asking the employees na mag-stick sa kanilang mga working hours. So, hindi nga naman po maiiwasan yung mag-overtime tayo, pero at least, di ba, wag naman sanang madalas yung pag-overtime. So, kailangan meron pa ring pahinga. So, the next one is the implementation of ergonomics in system design should make the system work better for eliminating aspects of system functioning that are undesirable, uncontrollable, or unaccounted. So, ano ba yung mga bagay na usually hindi natin talaga makokontrol? Ito yung mga bagay na hindi natin inaasahan o hindi naman natin ginugusto na mangyari, pero nangyayari siya while we are working. Number 1 is inefficiency. So, pag sinabi nating inefficiency, sabi dito, when worker effort produces a suboptimal output. So, ano po ba yung sinasabi nating suboptimal output? Ibig sabihin dito, nagkakaroon na po tayo ng low quality. Ibig sabihin, yung trabaho natin, dahil sobrang pagod na nga tayo, sobrang dami nating iniisip, nakalink na dyan si psychophysical stress, Ibig sabihin yan, nagiging inefficient na tayo. We cannot produce a work that is high quality. We cannot produce a work that still complies with the standard or the SOP na tinatawag. So, ibig sabihin, due to the aspects or na different reasons, nagkakaroon tayo ng suboptimal output. At kapag nangyari na yung ating mga outputs o yung mga, let's say, trabaho natin, yung mga pinuproduce natin na goods and services is low quality na siya, pwedeng mangyari nun is masacrifice yung satisfaction ng mga customers. Mapapansin nila, dati hindi naman ganito yung lasa nung luto ni Chef, let's say, Chef Castillo. Pero ngayon, bakit ganito na yung lasa ng food? Ayoko nang kumain sa restaurant na to. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, sa isang restaurant, very critical. Kasi kung kilala nila yung chef, di ba? Eventually, talagang malalasahan nila na dapat yung taste ng food is always the same. Kaya nga 'di ba sa bahay, malalaman ninyo kapag yung nagluto hindi nanay nyo. Bakit ganito yung lasa nung adobo, ang alat? Sino nagluto nito? 'Di ba? So those simple examples. Next one is the fatigue. Ano na may fatigue? So pag sinabi nating fatigue, ayan, pagod. Over fatigue. So in badly designed jobs, people tire unnecessarily or people get tired unnecessarily. Ibig sabihin, badly designed. Hindi talaga para sa'yo yung trabaho na yon. Nautusan ka lang. Usually, di ba, kapag baguhan ka sa company, baguhan ka sa isang workplace, you give your 100% or even beyond. Siguro makaka-relate ako dyan. Siguro nung una-una ako sa CRT, or up until now naman, hanggang ngayon, I always give my 100% pagdating sa trabaho. But there are times that you need to take a break, you need to relax, you need to pause for a while. It's because baka hindi na kasi siya maging efficient. Yung quality ng trabaho ko baka wala na dun sa, hindi na siya maganda. So in that case, kapag nangyari yon, maapektuhan yung mga students. Because yung students ko, they are the end user. Sila yung huling tao na nakakatanggap ng mga outputs na ginagawa ko. So, ibig sabihin, it will sacrifice the quality. Okay? So, that is the inefficiency and fatigue. So, next naman tayo. So, next is the accidents, injuries, and errors. So, ito siguro yung ayaw natin mangyari pagdating sa workplace. So, accidents, injuries, and errors, this can be due to badly designed interfaces and excess stress, either mental or physical. Nakakatakot po magtrabaho sa mga factory, lalo na kung baguhan ka. Kasi 'di ba, napakarami ng mga news, mga balita na yung mga factory workers, 'di ba, naputulan ng daliri, naputol yung kamay, nagkaroon ng accident kasi nga po they are not still familiar with the machineries na ginagamit nila. Baka naman kaka-hire lang pinasabak na sa trabaho without a formal training. Yun po yung gusto nating iwasan, lalo na kapag nagtrabaho ka sa hospitality industry, as you will encounter a lot of different people. So, ibig sabihin, kapag ganun, pwedeng ang mangyari dyan is masira yung reputation ng company, masira yung reputation ng tao, at the same time, masacrifice yung mga quality services na binibigay natin sa mga customers. Tandaan ninyo na kapag halimbawa nagkaroon ng accident, food poisoning sa isang restaurant, dahil yung mga pine-prepare na ingredients pala is hindi na ganun ka-fresh. For example, may mga expired ingredients pa na naisasama habang nagluluto. So, di ba? Magkakaroon ng accident. Magkukos yun ng problem, hindi lang sa company, but also to the customers. Kasi sila yung main, let's say, sila yung end user. O sila yung nag-purchase or nag-avail ng mga products or services. So, sa workplace naman, hindi naman talaga ito maiiwasan, but as much as possible, we want to eliminate yung mga ganitong klaseng bagay. Next one is the user difficulties rather. So due to inappropriate combinations of subtasks, making the dialogue interaction cumbersome and unnatural. So ano ba yung sinasabi nating user difficulties? When we say cumbersome, this is the term for or synonymous to the term complicated. Okay? So when we say complicated, 'di ba? Parang sa mga love life nyo lang, complicated. Wala pa kayo sa in relationship stage. Nandun pa lang kayo sa it's complicated. Okay? So, just joking. So, complicated, it means that hindi tayo magkaroon ng proper communication, proper interaction. Hindi natin maintindihan kung ano ba yung nakasulat sa manual. Hindi natin maintindihan kung ano yung sinasabi during the training. Kasi, maybe there is a problem within the interaction. Baka naman kasi mamaya sobrang pure English na yung kinoconduct sa training, ikaw yung tao na hindi ka masyadong nakakaintindi ng English. So ibig sabihin, baka yung ibang mga words doon ma-misinterpret mo, bigyan mo na ng sariling kahulugan, which is hindi naman pala yun. Okay? So kaya sinasabi natin dito, kaya nga merong mga user manual, user handbook, student handbook, student manual, kasi doon tayo magre-rely. Ibig sabihin, yun talaga yung mga rules, regulations, procedures na dapat nating sundin para hindi maging complicated yung mga bagay-bagay. And of course, low morale and apathy. Ano ba yung morale? Pag sinabi nating low morale, usually, you are not being productive. Disengaged ka. When we say disengaged, wala ka ng gana sa trabaho. Same with apathy. Loss of interest. Wala na, hindi ka na interesado sa trabaho mo kasi nga ang hirap, hindi mo maintindihan. Kahit nag-training ka na, hindi mo pa rin maintindihan. Because there might be a problem within the interface and of course within the human interaction. So sabi dito in ergonomics, absenteeism, injury, poor quality, and unacceptably high levels of human error are seen as a system problems rather than people problems. So ito medyo complicated yung term. So itatanong ko to once that we meet tomorrow or once that we are going to conduct the video conferencing. System problem daw yung mga nabanggit natin kanina na to, rather than people's problem. Sa tingin nyo, bakit? So, in my own perception, kung ako'y tatanungin, minsan kasi maayos naman talaga yung pamamalakad. But then, ang nangyayari kasi, wala tayong proper communication. Yun naman talaga nag-uugat ang lahat, 'di ba? When you don't have a proper communication, when the communication is not a two-way process, usually nagkakaroon talaga ng problema. So, which later, mas maididiscuss pa natin yan. So, the name ergonomics, okay, so let's erase this, the first part. Ayan. So, gamit naman tayo ng ibang kulay ng ating pen. So, in ergonomics, nahahati po yan sa dalawang words. So, it comes from the Greek words ergon, which means work, trabaho. Okay, work. And nomos, which means law. Okay? So, kapag pinag-combine nyo sila, it is a work law or it is a law of work. It's not necessarily batas, but sometimes it can be stated as a regulations, ano ba yung mga procedure sa work, ano ba yung mga protocol sa work, okay? Na dapat sundin ng nakararami or as much as possible ng lahat para maiwasan natin yung mga na-mention natin kanina na mga aspects or yung mga hindi ka nais-nais na pangyayari within the company. Next one is the focus of ergonomics. So when we say focus, ano ba yung tinatawag nating aim? Okay? Ano ba yung aim, ano ba yung goal ni ergonomics? Bakit kasi may ergonomics pa? Bakit ba natin pinag-aaralan pa tong ergonomics? So, the focus of ergonomics is on the interaction. When we say interaction, di ba? Yung ating, let's say, pakikitungo within or between the person and the machine, and the design of the interface. So, ito yung dapat natin talagang matutunan. That's why sa school, hindi man machine yung pinag-aaralan nyo, pero tinuturo na sa inyo, di ba? Paano gamitin yung iba't ibang mga food and beverage tools and equipments? Para saan yung mga dinnerware? Para saan yung mga cutleries? Para saan yung mga, let's say, mga bar glass? Para saan yung mga kitchen tools and equipments na to? Diba may mga kanyang-kanya silang functions? May mga kanya-kanya silang role na ginagampanan once na ginamit nyo sila. So that's why it is very important na while you are studying, you have to grasp. Ibig sabihin, akapin na natin lahat, or let's say, itatak na natin lahat sa isip natin yung mga pinag-aaralan natin. Kasi ayaw natin na pag graduate tayo, wala tayong alam. Ayaw natin na maging inosente tayo in real world. Kasi di ba pag graduate kayo, you are about to face the reality. Ibig sabihin, hindi na to joke. Ito na yung realidad na kailangan mo magtrabaho, may boss ka na kailangan sundin, or eventually kapag naging successful, nakaipon ka, ikaw naman yung magiging boss. Ikaw naman yung magiging owner. Ikaw yung magiging CEO or president. So, ibig sabihin, kung ikaw yung nasa upper or nasa top management, gusto mo naman na ikaw yung magpapa-implement ng mga procedures, ng mga protocols, na dapat ikaw mismo, alam mo sa sarili mo, kung ano nga ba yung tamang interaction between the person and the machine within the company or organization. So, di ba kanina, paulit-ulit na din natin sinasabi kung ano si interface. So, si interface, these are the tools or machine we interact with. Okay? So, usually, yung mga interface na yan, it can be the handle, yung mga hawakan sa hagdan, or let's say, for example, sa mga machineries na hinahawakan natin, sa mga appliances, na minsan talaga nakakalito. And of course, the steering wheel, computer, keyboard, and then the mouse, and so on. So, madami pa yung explanation. The way this interface is designed determines how easily and safely we can use the machine. So, minsan kasi kung complicated yung design ng isang produkto, minsan talaga namang malilito ka. 'Di ba? Minsan, paano ba 'to gamitin? Lahat na pinindot mo. Parang example lang yan, pag halimbawa, nag-check-in kayo sa hotel. So, naalala ko tuloy nung nag-check-in kayo sa Top Star Hotel, nalilito iba sa inyo kung paano gamitin yung shower. Okay? Paano daw ba gamitin yung shower? Hindi nila alam kung paano. Bigla daw mainit yung lalabas na tubig, napasok na daw yung katawan nila. Meron naman daw sobrang lamig. Paano naman daw kapag warm water lang? So, usually may mga description doon, or may mga, let's say, code ng kulay, na pag red, it signifies na hot water, na kapag blue is the cold water, pag nakagitna is the warm water, or yung sakto lang yung kanyang lamig at saka yung init. So usually, di ba sa hotels, kapag talagang maganda or smart technology na yung gamit nila, medyo malilito talaga yung mga guests. But of course, we need to adapt to those changes, lalo na ngayon na very high-tech ang ating technology na ginagamit. Okay? So, remember lang po, ang focus ng ergonomics, interaction between the person and the machine, together with the design of the interface. Okay? So, let's erase and let's go to the next slide. Ayan. So, we have here the figure 1.1. So, dito sinasabi lang natin, this is the what we call the simple work system. Okay? So, this is the simple work system. So, sabi dito, people interact with machines. Okay? So, tayong mga tao, tayong mga employees, nakikipag-interact or ginagamit natin yung mga machines. Bakit? To turn inputs into outputs. Kasi, di ba, meron tayong tinatawag na IPO. I, P, and then O. We have the input, the process, and the output. Usually, example will be, halimbawa, input natin is the raw ingredients. Ayan. Raw ingredients sa kitchen. So, bago ka makagawa ng spaghetti, you need to buy noodles, spaghetti noodles, you need to buy tomato sauce, okay, or spaghetti sauce, you need to buy yung mga panahog and all that and other ingredients. So, paano siya magiging output? Paano siya magiging spaghetti talaga? So, you need a process. Ano yung mga process na yon? You need to boil the noodles, diba? You need to cook the sauce. You need to prepare the ingredients bago mo siya iluto. So, basically, those are the processes. At pag nagawa mo na yon, it will lead you to an output. So, ibig sabihin, pag naluto mo na lahat yon, yun na yung inyong output. But that's just a simple instruction or simple example. So, sabi dito, we have here yung mga codes. So, dito sa gitna. So, let's highlight it. Ayan, gamit tayo ng highlighter naman. So, we have here, ayan, ayaw niyang ma-highlight. So, next, mag-annotate na lang ulit tayo. So, we have here the human. We also have here the machine, yung M, and then the E for environment. So, si human, si machine, at si environment, usually, they are being combined with one another. Without the human, without manpower, hindi gagana yung mga machines. 'Di ba? Without the, let's say, kung may mga machines naman tayo, hindi din naman gagana yan kung walang tao na mag-ooperate. Not unless, ang gamit mo sa company mo or ang gamit mo sa business mo is the AI or yung mga artificial intelligence like robots. Okay? At the same time, si human and si machine, meron siyang impact with regards to the environment. Okay? Ito nga yun. So, ano yung mga impacts na yun? So, pwedeng halimbawa, di ba? We produce too much products. Yung iba doon is medyo hindi na sila pasado sa pinaka-standard or hindi siya na, or bumagsak siya sa quality inspection, usually nagiging waste product na siya. Those are the rejected products. And eventually, di ba, sometimes yung mga products na yan, it can cause accidents. Paanong accidents? Let's say, for example, masyado ng maraming basura. Maraming basura ang naitatapon ng company ninyo because you are not implementing a sustainable environment. Bawal na gumamit ng plastic, pero gumagamit pa rin ng plastic. 'Di ba? So nowadays, 'di ba, yung paggamit natin ng face mask, yung disposable. So after a day, itatapon mo na siya. Usually, tinatapon na lang ng iba sa kung saan-saan. So ibig sabihin, kapag nag-create yan, or let's say, nag-clog yung mga kanal dyan, or let's say, nagkaroon, let's say, ng pagbaha, dahil sa sobrang daming basura, usually it can cause an accident. Kaya nga 'di ba maraming mga binabaha nowadays dahil nga sa sobrang dami na ng basura, hindi na kayang sipsipin ng mga natural resources natin like trees, mountains, yung mga water na naipoproduce kapag umuulan. So the next one here, ayan. So it can also cause injuries, absenteeism, and then heat. Lalo na pag sa machines, 'di ba? Kapag na-overuse mo yung mga machines, ano ba nangyayari? Nag-overheat yung machines. Nasisira. Kasi kung ang tao napapagod, same with the machineries. ang mga machineries, hindi porket binili natin yan na sobrang mahal, wala silang karapatan na magpahinga or wala silang karapatan na patayin for the meantime. Okay? So, kaya nga, di ba, may mga working hours lang tayo. After working hours, papatayin natin lahat ng mga machineries natin. And then, the following day, kapag nagsimula na ulit yung work, tsaka lang ulit siya sinisindihan. Kaya nga ngayon, iwasan natin na masyadong naka-open yung mga gadgets natin kasi baka hindi siya magtagal. Baka mamaya, bago lang yung cellphone mo, pero dahil sobrang 24 hours nakabukas, aside from online school, ang dami mo pang ibang ginagawa or ang dami mo pang ibang pinupuntahan ng mga websites, baka naman po masira yung ating phone. So, same with other machines and equipments. Okay? So, sabi dito, when faced with productivity problems, engineers might call for a better machine. And personal management might call for better trained people. Kasi 'di ba, yung mga engineers usually sila yung in charge when it comes to the maintenance of the machineries. Sila yung mas nakakaalam with regards sa mga dapat gawin sa mga machineries natin, lalo na kung meron kang talagang i-hire na engineer within your workplace. So, next one is the ergonomists call for better interface and better interaction between the user and the machine. Because when we create a better interface and when we create a better interaction between the user and the machine, we will create a better task design. So, ibig sabihin, kapag lahat yan is nagsabay-sabay, when they all fall in one place, ibig sabihin, mas magiging maayos yung mga task ng ating mga employees. Maiiwasan natin yung mga different problems na na-discuss natin kanina. Okay? So, sana naiintindihan ng lahat. So, if not, you can pause or you can rewind yung iba kong mga sinabi kanina. So, next one is the human-machine system. So, sabi dito, a system is a set of elements, the relations between those elements and the boundary around them. So, pag sinabi po nating system, these are the combination of elements. So, ibig sabihin, yung system na yan yung tinatawag natin na it consists of people and the machines. Okay? So, wag pong malilito. When we say system, these are consists of people and machines. Okay? So, inputs are received in the form of matter, energy, and information. Usually, the inputs, those are the what we called intangible. Okay? Those are the intangible aspects sa ating workplace. Ibig sabihin, ito yung matter, energy, information that we need to convert in order for us to create an output. So, sabi dito, ergonomics, the human is the part of the system and must be fully integrated into it at a design stage. So, sabi natin kanina, the system requirements should be prioritized. Or sometimes, the system requirements are not really the problem, but the people. So, in this case, si human daw o yung mga tao or tayo mismo, we need to be fully integrated. When we say integrated, kasama tayo. Kailangan maisama tayo or let's say maging involved tayo during the design stage. So, ibig sabihin, yung design stage na to, it can be, for example, product conceptualization. Pag nag-conceptualize ka ng produkto, nagkaroon ka ng ideas, nagkaroon kayo ng brainstorming, dapat totally involved ka para ma-share mo yung mga ideas mo with regards doon sa gagawin ninyong products or services. Para at least alam mo yung mga detalye at hindi ka yung, tsaka ka lang magugulat kapag ayan na. Okay? So, kaya nga siya sinabing fully integrated. Ibig sabihin, as much as possible, You have to be involved. Dapat alam mo yung mga nangyayari within the workplace. So, human requirements are therefore system requirements rather than secondary consideration. System requirements and secondary consideration. Kung ano yung mga kailangan natin as a human, as a worker, as an employee, that should come first. Ibig sabihin, dapat yun yung i-prioritize ng company, ng organization. Hindi pwedeng ako as a owner, bibili ako ng mga kung ano-anong equipments, pero hindi ko man lang iisipin na yung mga trabahador ko nasa age na pala ng 50 and above. Paano nila matututunan yon? Diba kapag medyo nasa adult stage na, medyo nahihirapan na sila when it comes to technology. So, dapat i-balance ko lang yung mga gagawin or i-implement ko na rules, protocols, or yung mga bibilin ko na mga machineries sa company. So, ano daw yung mga requirements na yon or ano-ano yung mga human requirements? Number 1 is the equipment that is usable and safe. Okay? Equipment that is usable and safe. Yung mga equipment na kayang gamitin at the same time safe. Hindi ka mapapano, hindi ka maaksidente. Next one is tasks that are compatible with people's expectations, limitations, and training. Ibig sabihin, kapag nagpagawa ako ng task, ng assignment, it should also meet your expectation. Baka naman kasi mamaya, sobrang hirap na nung pinapagawa ko. Hindi mo na siya magawa. Hindi mo na siya maintindihan. That's why sa isang company, maraming nagko-quit, maraming nagre-resign because hindi na nila kaya yung workload. Sobrang dami na nilang trabaho to the point na wala na silang oras sa sarili nila. And sabi ko nga kanina, health is wealth. Still, you need to prioritize your health, yung kalusugan ninyo. Which is yun din talaga ang focus ni ergonomics. Kaya natin din siya pinag-aaralan. That's why bago ka nga kako sumabak sa isang trabaho, may mga trainings muna or as early as now, di ba? May mga training na such as yung mga NC, di ba? Nagkaroon na kayo ng training on how to do the housekeeping procedures, yung front office procedures, how to operate a bar, yung sa bartending ninyo, and of course yung food and beverage. So next one is an environment that is comfortable and appropriate for the task. So I hope na in the near future when you find a work, sana ito talaga yung gusto ninyo. Hindi yung napilitan lang kayo dahil pinilit kayo ng kaibigan nyo, pinilit kayo ng magulang nyo na dito na lang pumasok sa trabaho na to, when in fact na ayaw nyo naman talaga doon. Because hindi tayo magiging productive, hindi natin maibibigay yung 100% best natin kapag hindi natin talaga gusto yung ginagawa natin. Same with the environment. Kapag yung workplace mo is toxic, kapag yung workplace mo is hindi man lang hindi man lang magkaroon ng proper ventilation, ng air conditioning unit, hindi man lang maglagay, ang dami-dami nyo sa isang room pero ang aircon iisa, ang electric fan iisa, yes, magrereklamo ka sa una and eventually magrereklamo ka ulit, but it might trigger your mental and health problem. Okay? Kasi baka naman mamaya sa workplace ka magkasakit. Sa sobrang pagtatrabaho mo, sa sobrang pagtitiis mo, dahil hindi naman maganda yung work environment, eventually, ikaw yung maapektuhan. So, we want things to be comfortable and we want our tasks to be appropriate. A system of work organization that recognizes people's social and economic needs, which is important nowadays. Dapat malaman ng mga company or the company should be aware that nowadays, dahil may pandemic, hindi na pwedeng mag-overtime ng mag-overtime. Lalo na there is a problem with regards to the public transportation. Like for example, sa amin, sa CRT, so si Sir Jeff Manikis, kung kilala nyo siya, isa siyang IT instructor din. So si Sir Jeff Manikis, I think, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, sa San Leonardo siya umuwi. So, maaga siya pumapasok sa work, siguro around 7:30, nandun na siya sa CRT, and uuwi siya ng around 4 o'clock or before 4 o'clock. Bakit? Kasi nga po, behind 4 o'clock, wala na siyang masasakyan na jeep. So, hindi na siya makakauwi. So, the company should let Sir Jeff or the CRT itself, kailangan payagan nila si Sir Jeff na umuwi ng maaga. Kasi nga, wala na siyang masasakyan. So, pag wala na siyang nasakyan, hindi siya makakauwi. So, baka mamaya kung ano pa yung possible na mangyari, which is ayaw naman natin. Kaya nga sabi dito, recognize people's social and economic needs. Lalo na sa ngayon, there are lots of employees na na-demote. When we say na-demote is bumaba yung kanilang position within the company. It's because, yun nga, kailangan nilang maging smart with regards sa pagpapasweldo din. And then yung iba naman, may mga companies na talagang nagbawas ng empleyado kasi hindi na rin nila kayang pasweldohin because yung ating economic health ngayon is medyo unstable dahil sa pandemic. So next one is compatibility matching demands to capabilities. So sabi lang naman dito, it is a concept that is common to the application of ergonomics across a wide range of settings and discipline. So, in order to achieve compatibility, so para daw ma-achieve natin yung compatibility or let's say yung mutual na pagkakasundo, we need to assess the demands placed by the technology or the technological and environmental constraints. And we have to weigh them against the capabilities of the user. Nowadays, napakaraming demand, 'di ba? Ang daming demand ng technology. Before, hindi naman natin talaga alam gumamit ng Zoom. Hindi naman natin kilala si Zoom before. Pero dahil nagkaroon ng online class, napilitan tayo na mag-training, napilitan tayo na aralin paano ba gamitin si Zoom, paano gamitin si Google Meet, paano gamitin si Edmodo. Okay? So, ibig sabihin nun, if we place a new technological advancement, dapat nakatuon din siya or compatible din siya sa mga user, sa abilidad or sa kapabilidad ng mga user. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, it should be a balance. Kasi hindi naman lahat ng user is puro millennials. Marami rin tayong mga users ngayon or marami ring mga workers na talagang nandun na sila sa adult stage o yung iba nga is nandun na sila sa, let's say, senior citizen stage, pero nagtatrabaho pa rin. Okay? So, I hope na naiintindihan. Yan. So, the next one is the ergonomic entropy. So, when we say ergonomic entropy, this is a disorder. Okay? Ibig sabihin, there is a disorder in system functioning that occurs owing to a lack of compatibility. So, yun nga po yung sinasabi natin kanina. Walang compatibility. Ibig sabihin, hindi magtugma-tugma yung mga ini-implement natin na system sa company. So, ano daw ba yung mga reasons kung bakit nagkakaroon ng incompatibility? Ayan. Number 1 is, the human requirements were never considered. Ano ba yung mga human requirements natin kanina? Safe workplace, di ba? Safe environment. So, ano pa yung mga nabanggit natin kanina na human requirements? Na dapat yung user interface ng mga machines is madaling intindihin. Pag yun lahat is hindi siya na-consider, hindi siya napagtuunan ng pansin ng mga company, usually nagkakaroon tayo ng ergonomic entropy na tinatawag. Sabi dito, failure to consult to appropriate standards, guidelines, or textbook. Another example is the inappropriate task design. Ayan o. New devices introduce unexpected changes. Unexpected changes, ibig sabihin, ito yung mga changes na hindi natin inaasahan. Dahil nga sa pandemic, biglang nagka-online class. Dati naman, di ba? We are just conducting our class traditionally, face-to-face. So, of course, kapag ganun yung nangyari, there is an incompatibility with regards to the user knowledge, habits, or capacity. And the last one is the lack of prototyping. Ano ba yung sinasabi nating prototyping? So when we say prototyping, we are conceptualizing an idea. Kumbaga, ipo-prototype natin siya. From our ideas, pwede natin siyang gawan ng tangible items. Diba? Gagawa natin siya ng parang miniature model, wherein yung prototype na yon is pwede natin siyang i-introduce sa market. And kapag nagustuhan ng market, that's the time na magkikreate na tayo ng final product. Okay? So, uso ngayon yan, yung mga prototypes. Kumbaga sa grand opening, ito yung soft opening na tinatawag natin. So, para malaman muna. And usually, sa prototyping, may mga software development na involved. Okay? So, dito na natin i-encounter yung mga information technologies, mga designers, or mga web designers. So, sabi dito, disorder in the way system function usually costs money. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, kapag maraming mga errors within the company, kapag yung mga napag-usapan natin kanina is hindi siya properly na-implement, hindi siya nabigyan ng pansin, at patuloy na nagkaroon ng accidents, ng error, ng mga malfunction sa company, it will cost them a lot of money. Okay? So, tandaan natin that the human resources is one of the most important aspects or assets of the company. Because kung wala tayo ng mga human resources, the manpower itself, the company's operation won't work. Or hindi rin gagana or mag-ooperate yung company. Okay? So, I hope clear tayo sa ergonomic entropy. Okay. So, ito naman, it's just an example of basic interaction in the work system. Okay? So, human is greater than the machine. Human is greater than the environment. Ayan. Machine is greater than the human. Machine is greater than the environment. Or less than. Ayan, puro greater than. Ang sinasabi lang po natin dito is, let's give an example. Human is greater than the environment. Effects of the human on the local environment. Humans emit heat, noise, carbon dioxide. So what will be the evaluation? Physical, objective measurement of working environment, implications for compliance with standards. Kaya 'di ba, may mga factories na pinapasara kasi they are emitting some noise, they are emitting carbon dioxide na hindi healthy. They are emitting gases within the atmosphere na hindi siya nakakabuti, lalo na if you have neighbors. Marami kang kapitbahay doon, let's say the local community, na wherein they're not really informed kung ano ba yung ginagawa mo within the factory. So, kumbaga, kung nag-i-emit yung factory mo ng sobrang daming pollution, okay, sa environment, maapektuhan yung mga katabi mong, let's say, katabing bahay doon, katabing establishments din, na wherein pwede silang magreklamo. Pag nangyari yun at nagreklamo sila, may tendency na mag-file sila ng case against you. Lalo na yung mga nag-aalaga ng mga baboy, di ba? So, sometimes, dahil sa sobrang baho ng piggery nila, nairereklamo sila to the point na napapasara yung mismong piggery. So, in that case, we need to comply with the standards na binibigay ng government. Okay? At the same time, the owner itself must be responsible. So, I will not further discuss this table because this is just an example of the basic interaction and some of it na-discuss na natin kanina. Okay, so we're down to last two slides, I think. So, it says here that system analysis is the name of the discipline that studies the structure, okay, studies the structure and function of work system, provided and provides the means by which simple systems may be combined to form a more complex system. So, when we say complex, madami. Okay? So, system analysis, it only means that pinag-aaralan mabuti yung structure at saka yung function ng trabaho. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, bago mo yan ipagawa sa mga tao, bago mo yan ipagawa sa mga employees mo, there should be a thorough study or let's say, understanding with regards doon sa ipapagawa mo sa kanya. Okay? Kasi hindi tayo pwedeng basta magpasa lang ng magpasa ng trabaho. So, doon nga nagkakaroon ng problem or yung tinatawag natin na disorganization kapag patong lang tayo ng patong ng trabaho, pasa lang tayo ng pasa ng trabaho sa ating mga employees. So, there should be a discipline, sabi nga dito, sa ating work system. So, what are the applications of ergonomics? So, yung ergonomics daw, dalawa yung kanyang application. So, pwedeng ginagamit siya sa research. Ayan. So, yung mga ergonomists, ginagamit siya sa research to discover characteristics of people that need to be allowed for in design. And second one naman, usually ginagamit talaga siya sa work as a part of design team and contribute to the knowledge. Ayan. Contribute to the knowledge to the design of the human-machine interactions in a work system. So, tandaan po ang application ng ergonomics. It can be for research and it can be for the private or organization itself. So, I hope that clear ang ating discussion for today. So, tandaan lang po natin that when we say ergonomics, these are the human factors. So, we need to fit yung workplace natin o yung pinagtatrabahuhan natin o yung lugar kung saan tayo nagtatrabaho sa mga kailangan ng mga co-workers natin or ng mga employees. Okay? So, it's about designing and arranging the things that people use to interact with one another para mas maging efficient and effective yung ating trabaho. So, magiging maayos lang yon if we design a better or a friendly user interface. Okay? So, that concludes our Module 1.1, which is the Introduction to Ergonomics. So, further discussion about this subject will be discussed during our video orientation or our video conferencing rather. So, make sure to watch this full video of our lesson for today. So, thank you so much and see you on our Zoom class.